Suncatchers and plant sticks have been all the rage this year, so I thought I would make one more. So if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button and let's dive in. The materials you're going to need today are 12 gauge wire, 16 gauge wire, and then some either beads or crystals or shells, whatever you want to do. And then, of course, bail pliers, flat pliers, steel block, hammer, mini bolt cutters or some good wire cutters, and then something like a cylinder. You can use a ring mandrel, or you can use something else that is the similar size. Welcome to my new studio. Bear with me while I work out the design, but this is it for now. Today we're going to be working with 12 gauge copper wire, and this might be too big, but I'd like to start with bigger than smaller. I'm starting today with 70 inches or 175 centimeters. Okay, we're just going to fold the wire in half like that, and then take a round cylinder object, and you could use like a long piece of wood. They sometimes have these things that look like dowels, but they're long. You could use one of those, anything with the size, about the shape, size of a ring or a little bit smaller, a pinky ring. And we're just going to, and I'm going to move a few things out of the way because this wire is going to move around. It might be a good idea to wear glasses for this. And I'm just going to shape this wire around like that. It's kind of like my flower, but without a spiral in the middle. And now that I have a loop, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to shape this around the loop. Whoops. Like that. Perfect. And we're going to look at it to make sure we're going the right direction. Okay, and doing another one on this side. And we're going over the last one. And on the other side, we're going to go under. So we're going to do several of these loops, and each time I'm just going to flatten it out. You can probably do this at the end too, but I like to just flatten as I go. In fact, that one is looking a little bit too close to the other one, so I'm just pulling it back. The good thing with a 12 gauge wire is that it is more malleable than the 10 gauge. And again, we're going over. When we do the other side, we're going to go under. So we're going over like that. Perfect. And moving the wire around, flattening it out. And another one. And you're using, if you're going to use a mandrel, ring mandrel like I'm using, you got to use the same height, size each time, or pretty close to it. Okay, taking a moment to adjust because I noticed that this loop is overlapping the other loop. So we're just taking a moment to adjust. Perfect. And it's looking great so far. So let me do another one. And then over the last one. Good. Try again. And it's fairly easy. Once you get the technique, it's actually really easy. It just might be a little bit awkward sometimes. And you got to move out of the way of the wire. But it's fairly easy to do. Good. I'm going to do a couple more on this side, and then I'm going to start on the other side. See, now that I've got the rhythm, it's going a little faster. Perfect. And I'm just going to actually go again. Perfect. And I'm going to start now on the other side. Just flattening it out. Now, on the other side, it's going to be, I believe it's going to be the opposite. Let me just see. When we go on the opposite side, we're going to go under the wire like that. There, so just readjust. There we go. And again, we're going to go under the wire this time in this side. So one direction, you're going over the wire, and then the next direction, you're just doing the opposite, which is going under the wire. Okay, good. Another one. Yep, that's looking really good. There we go. And perfect. And we're just going to keep going till we have about a foot left. Okay, perfect. Oh, that one. And I'm just going to take a moment to flatten it all out. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try and keep them to the similar size. But it's okay if it's not. It doesn't have to be the same exact size. There we go. Just make sure when you're looking, see that one's a little smaller. Oops. Oh, well, they're not overlapping too much. Good. I'm going to do another one. After working with 10 gauge wire a lot, 12 gauge is a lot easier. We don't need as much stability for this project, so 12 gauge will be fine. Over and yeah. Okay, a couple more. These Suncatchers have been so popular this year. And garden sticks, they've also been popular. If you have any ideas for more crafts, please always put them in the comments below. I love starting new crafts. I saw one follower subscriber do a rain stick or a rain, I don't know what it was actually called. I've never even heard of it before, but it was very pretty. And I love all of the garden sticks that you guys are sending me. Those are incredible. It just makes me so happy that people are actually doing the crafts that I'm teaching. Very cool. Keep it up. And all the variations are really cool too. Okay, I'll probably do, you want to have, well, you don't need equal parts, but we're going to put this around a bottle soon. Or a round container to shape it better. So we just need to know how much we need to go. Okay, I'm going to leave it about there. Let me just see. Oh, I'd like to do a little bit more. I think I'm going to do a few more just to make sure. So maybe 2 more on each side, I think. Okay. There we go. Even maybe 1 more on each side, because I want to save space for the spiral. In fact, this side is longer, so I'm going to do 2 more on this side for sure. Now this side, around and over. And the other side around and under, this side around and over. And you'll see what I mean if you do the opposite. You'll see that it's not looking uniform if you do it the other way. Okay, that's looking great. In fact, maybe I'll do an oval. I don't even need to wrap it around a bottle. I love that look right there. I was going to do it round, but I think I'll just do it oval. So that's perfect. And so the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pliers in and fold this way, and pliers and fold it that way. And then I'm going to close this. Oh yeah, that's looking really good. Okay, cool. And so some of you have been asking about wire wrapping and how to hold these things together. And I thought of a tip that I think we'll try today, and we'll see if it works. Using some clear tape. This one's not as clear as I would like it. In fact, I'm going to cut this in half lengthwise, just to make it more narrow, as I'm not going to do a wrap that wide. And we're going to see if this works, just to do a fun tip. So I'm going to take the tape and wrap it around the top, like that. And that way, it won't move around while you're trying to wrap it. And you won't see it. Okay, well, that holds it together. So you won't see it because you're going to wrap the wire around. On this one, I think I'm going to do a 20 gauge wire wrap around the top, like this. Probably about this much. And I like to start my wraps in the middle so that you do half up going up and half going down. Like that. And you could add some beads to this wrap if you want. And you could also hold the 2 wires like that to wrap, or put it in a vise. And this is going really nicely. There we go. Works rather well. Super easy, so less frustrating, because I know sometimes it's frustrating to keep these two together while you're wrapping. And I just see it spreading apart a bit, so I'm just squeezing it back together. Perfect. Like that. Nice. And I've almost covered up all of the tape. There we go. This side has covered up all the tape, so I'm going to cut that off. And this just has a few to go. So a quick hack so that you don't get frustrated while wrapping 2 wires together like this is a little piece of clear tape. Or a vise. Or positioning your pliers, either one. There we go. Perfect. And then I'm going to squish these together again and cut them off at the back. Okay. There we go. And then squish them closed. Make sure there's nothing poking out at you. Oh, perfect. Yay. And if you wanted to, you could also hammer to flatten this out a bit. I might do a light hammer. I'm not going to do a huge hammer, just to make sure that it sits flat. Yes, stand by. Okay, the light hammer worked rather well. And now I'm going to work on the top pieces. And I'm going to do a similar one to what I had the last Suncatcher. And if you haven't seen the last one, go to my channel. I have a website, twirlcraftstudio.com, and you can see it categorized into Suncatchers, into plant sticks, into copper wire pendants, and other things. Okay, so I'm just taking a moment, and these I will definitely hammer because I love the look of hammered spirals. Oh, there it is. I kind of made this spiral look wonky. I was going pretty quick, so I'm just fixing. Okay, Awesome. There we go. And then doing the others. Perfect. And I'm just deciding, I think I'm going to do a similar design to the last one on the top where this spiral is on top of the other one. So what I need to do is I made it a little more spread apart and I'm just moving it over. Yes, it looks so cute that way. Okay, perfect. And then that way it's over the top and it still hangs properly. And now I'm just going to hammer these ones. Now this is the part where you just work with what you have and you make it your own. I've been going back on several different designs and I've decided on a pendant that I made. If you want to learn about this pendant, you can go to my tutorial on copper wire pendants. And I think I'm going to put that in the center. It's got some obsidian, and then this is an old jade serpentine bead that I had. If you don't have this, you could use glass beads, shells, crystals, marbles even. So just work with what you have. We're going to use some 16 gauge wire to attach it. And many of you have been asking me, saying that you can't find glass beads or especially the big ones like this. Soon I will have links on my website for glass beads, but another option is to go to secondhand stores, and sometimes they have glass beads around really big necklaces that you can't see you wearing as a necklace, and you can just cut it up and use the glass beads from there. So that's just a tip. But like I said, I will have more to come on my website. So now this pendant that, of course, I just said the tutorial is on my website. We're going to put that in the middle and we're going to attach this. Now I have to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I think I'm going to just do a wire wrap with the 16 gauge wire and then a loop on the bottom here. So we're just taking the 16 gauge wire like that and looping it around. Probably once like that. And then I'm just going to flatten it out like that. And then we're going to bring it around and to the bottom. And you're going to want it in the center, sort of like that. And then this 16 gauge just goes around and you're just going to cut it off and flatten it. There we go. And we're just going to flatten that design. And then we're going to make a loop with this one. Actually, maybe I'll even do a little bit of an S. So we're going to move it over to the side. In the end, you want it sitting nice and in the center so you can hang things from it. I'm actually going to do a little bit of an S shape. Just like that. Perfect. And now you have, and just take a minute to adjust it to what you want. See, mine's, I want it a little dangly like that, but I am going to just close the back a bit more. There. And now I have an S in the center. And I'm going to add this bead. This one has a hole that fits the 16 gauge wire, so we're good. I think I'm just going to do a simple loop to hang it. Like that, and then on the other side. So just cut enough space so that you can do a loop on the other side. There we go. Perfect. I need to close that more and I need to adjust this more. So I'm going to lift it up and adjust. Perfect. Okay. And now I'm going to add this and close the loop. like that. And then we're going to open the loop again to add this pendant. And then close. Okay, it's looking so good so far. So also, just a tip. In fact, should it be this side? It should probably be this side. Just a tip as well, you could add beads through all of these holes right here, which would be really nice. I'm going to take this little crystal and have it dangling from the bottom here. I will use 16 gauge wire just to hold it in place. We're going to do just a spiral, an open spiral at the bottom like this. And this helps hold the bottom of it in place. And then you just pick it up like that. You've got a nice little spiral now, and that's going to go at the bottom of your crystal. And then you're just wrapping it around like that. Perfect. And then on the top, securing it nicely in place. In fact, I think I need to open this up again because I need a little bit more protection for the crystal. So I'm moving the crystal up. There we go. That's nice. And then closing it again. Everything is just about adjusting, making sure the stone that you are wrapping is nice and sturdy. And then we're just going to add a loop here. Like that. Good. And that's going to go at the bottom. I will do another, just an S loop so that this dangles. So we're just doing an S loop here. There we go. And then it will dangle. And then opening it up. Attaching. And opening this side. Attaching it. And this is the time when you just take a moment to decide if you're going to add something else or if it's done like that for you. Okay, I decided that I was going to keep it fairly simple, but I'm going to add 2 spirals on these 2 sides. So I took 16 gauge wire, about 6 inches or 15 centimeters, and I'm just going to do spirals and zigzags. Just to give it a little bit extra. There we go. And, oh yeah, that's nice. And then I'm just going to do a zigzag back and forth. Like that. And you can decide if you want to put a bead on this, if you're even going to do this. The finishing touches are kind of however you'd want to design it. There we go. I was going to put beads all the way through or wrapping, but I just thought it was too busy for my liking. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Okay. And that looks good. I'm just going to do the other side now. And it's going to go in opposite directions, the spirals. One is going to go one way and the other one is going to go the other. You can still make the spiral the same. It's just you flip it over for the other side, of course. There we go. And I will be hammering these to just to flatten them out. There we go. I'm just going to take a minute to hammer them to give them some lovely texture, and I'll be back. They're looking good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a little bit like that, and I'm going to do an S hook so they dangle, just like the other one. So we're just cutting off. So you're going to be the same on each side. So this one needs a little bit more cut off. Okay, and then we're making a loop here. And this loop is going sideways so that the S hook goes the other way. I'm going to close this up a bit. There we go. There. That looks nice. And then just try and do it on the other side. Oh, I can't even remember where I had the right. And then 2 small S hooks here. Just to fit around. I'll use this side. Probably should have cut both even pieces so that I'm pretty even on both sides. And open the other side up and attach them. And then we are almost done. I would love to hear in the comments how you would design this differently or the same, or what would you put in the center. That would be lovely. Oh, nice. And I'm done. I love it. So cute. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.